Thank you and bless you too for your beautiful musical inspiration. And thank you to everyone. This was a very timely opportunity to have Reverend Susan Overland with us. Someone wrote in the chat, "You are a gift," and I absolutely agree that you're such a gift to us this day. I also know that we have Reverend Sunny with us today, along with our board. And so we're going to move into our community meeting at this time. And so everyone, if you'd like to turn on your cameras or take a moment to just see each other, and then I'm going to invite Robert Leeds to lead us into our community meeting. Hi, everyone. Hi, Robert. So if you'd like to turn on your cameras, see your beautiful faces, appreciate Reverend Susan. Thank you again. And here we are.
All those beautiful faces.
Thank you, Reverend Susan. Amazing.
Yeah.
Just as I remembered you. Hi, everybody else. Hi, Larry.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hi, Jody.
Thank you, Reverend Susan. That was wonderful.
Hi, Regina.
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Aw.
Hi, this is Eliza on the phone.
Hi,
Thank you,
Eliza.
Hi, Eliza.
Hi, Liza.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Eliza.
Hi. Hi,
Hi,
Lee.
Peggy.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Hi,
Hi,
Priscilla
Dottie.
and Diane. Hi, Diane.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Nikki. Hi, Nikki.
Michelle.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, all my friends.
So,
Bob, are you on today?
Your hair is so cute.
are you talking about me?
Yes, you too. Everybody, yeah.
Okay, Robert. Robert, go ahead, Robert, and take it away for us.
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. I especially want to thank Reverend Susan for her very timely and heartfelt talk. I also want to thank Reverend Sunny for being here. And the occasion is to have a community meeting to share information with you so that you know what's going on here in the community. When Regina did her prayer this morning, she mentioned this as a sacred time. And I think that's very true. It's a sacred time that has pain in it, but also a lot of promise. And as your board of trustees and from the ELT and the practitioners, we're all here to support the community through this process. So we've been, trying to do that in various ways, sharing information by email, in the Sunday services. And as you know, communication can be a challenge. So not everybody hears everything that we say, or sometimes it requires saying it numerous times before people understand what we're saying. You know how that goes. So this is just another opportunity for us to support you and to address some of the concerns that you might have. Reverend Sunny has been doing listening circles, and those are an opportunity to have a safe space to express your thoughts and feelings that you're having during this challenging time. And today's meeting is a little different. It's more information focused. Reverend Jerry is going to talk a little bit about some folks here at our community. Larry is going to speak a little bit about our plans for reopening. And I'm going to talk about the process for bringing in a new senior minister and an interim minister and that sort of thing. And there'll also be an opportunity for you to ask questions. So let's see. Oh, let me just quickly, because the Board of Trustees is here to serve the community and to serve you, and we're always available and open to any questions or concerns you might have. So let me just quickly review who we are. I am Robert. I'm the president of the board. Zoe DeMuro is the vice president. Debbie Morris is treasurer. Anthony Prado is the secretary. We also have Larry Wyman, Dottie Baker, and our two newest community or board members, Maureen French and Sanford Livingston. I hope I didn't leave anyone out. If I did, I'm sure they will remind me. Let me see. Let me go ahead and turn it over to to Reverend Jerry for her portion.
Well, hello again. I'd like to start my portion with a quote from Reverend Jeff's book, The Nature of Things, because this quote resonates and is so perfect for what we're going to be discussing. It's from Melanie Beattie. There are seasons and cycles in our lives, just as there are seasons and cycles to nature, to all of life. We move imperceptibly from one to the other, learning, growing, laughing, and crying along the way. So my part today is to give us an update on our reverends' journeys, because I know there's a lot of questions out there. We're in this time of releasing Reverend Jeff and releasing so many people in our lives. And we also have a time of releasing some other individuals who are very near and dear to our hearts. So first and foremost, I want to say that I'm not going anywhere, but I wanted to share what is up in our community regarding the most recent changes for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who have questions. And hopefully this will give you a good overview of where we're at. So I'm going to start first with my journey with Reverend Jeff when Reverend Jeff came to our center. I spent lots of time with Reverend Jeff, and he nurtured me through my ministerial studies and on to ordination, and has just been such a light and such a gift in my life. So letting him go obviously has not been easy for any of us, but yet we know he's surrounding us. We know that when we're thinking of him, he's thinking of us. I choose to see it that way. So I want to start with the early part of the journey. I was with Reverend Jeff for quite some time, he and I, and then as Reverend Jeff got more comfortable in his ministry and really claiming our center as his center, and that takes some time, there's a transition that happens there. He built a community of staff ministers, me being one, and Reverend Savannah, and Reverend Francione, and Reverend Tony, and Reverend Sally, and Lucian Baker, who's in ministerial school. So Reverend Jeff's vision continued to grow and grow as he nurtured our community and as he brought us into the fold. And we'd meet with him, we'd collaborate with him. And then eventually, toward the end of last year, the ecclesiastical leadership team was formed. And that was formed of Constance Chapman, our administrative coordinator, myself, Reverend Sally, Reverend Tony. Now, Reverend Francione, I'll give you a little backstory on her in a moment. But what I wanted to do is start with Lucian Baker, our youth and family director. Lucian has served our community well, and he will continue to serve as a practitioner and speaker on Wednesday evenings. Lucian stated in his letter that it is time for him to seek new opportunities to continue his spiritual and ministerial growth. We understand how time consuming it is to be in ministerial school. and ministerial studies do consume us, and they're fabulous, but they take our attention. And at the same time, he is raising a family. So we, the ELT, fully support him in this process and welcome anyone, a practitioner, a ministerial student, a minister or teacher who feels called to the youth and family position to contact Constance or myself. So just letting you know that Lucian is still very much with us and will continue to be a part of our community, and we will be seeing him often on his Wednesdays and opportunities to speak. But we are fulfilling, and he's very willing to support and nurture a new youth and family director. Our beloved Reverend Sally, as she stated in her closing Sunday service earlier this month, she stated that her husband Dave and herself are ready to travel the US in their motorhome, Gracie. We are knowing for Reverend Sally that she reaches her ministerial destination of her greatest yet to be as she holds the vision for her new ministry. And we support her on this amazing journey. And it truly is an amazing journey. So holding her in our hearts. And for our beloved Reverend Tony Bradford, who is currently on a leave of absence from Oakland Center, for a time right now, a time where he's nurturing himself, gathering his thoughts and getting clarity on what is next for his journey. We support him each step of the way and realize that he may or may not return to Oakland Center, but I'm feeling his heart remains with our center and that he will return when he is ready. We send him love and blessings and know that he really is missing his time with us. Now, Reverend Francione's a whole nother story. She's still very vibrantly involved with us in a subtle sort of way these days, because she is serving the East Bay Church of Religious Sciences interim minister at this time. God love her, she just keeps on going. And I speak with her regularly. She is very, very much a part of our community, and she's supporting East Bay as they call forth their next senior minister. Now, this can be a lengthy process, which I know that we'll be talking about later, yet I know that Reverend Francione will return to us at Oakland Center when the time permits. OCSL is her true spiritual home, and we just surround her in love. And as I stated in the beginning, I'm not going anywhere. OCSL continues to be my true spiritual home of learning, loving, and appreciating all that we have to offer as a spiritual community. I'm looking forward to continuing the legacy we have so beautifully established with our beloved Reverend Jeff. So won't you please join me? Thank you very much. Blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Jerry. Larry, are you out there?
I am indeed.
Terrific. Larry, if you could give us an update on the reopening.
Well, it's still a fluid situation. I think probably everyone has heard the new CDC information that came out recently. The state of California now says that they are going to embrace the CDC approach as of June 15th, at least based on a news conference by the chief medical officer. What remains to be seen is how does Alameda County react? How does the California guidelines actually come out officially as opposed to in a press conference? So it does look like things are going to open up significantly on June 15th. The ELT, in conjunction with the compliance team, has penciled in June 27th as an opening date for us. That, of course, is subject to state and county guidelines We still have a lot of issues that need to be addressed. How do we deal with vaccinated people versus unvaccinated people? We have software issues in terms of live streaming and maybe coordinating Zoom as well. So it's still fluid. We don't know exactly how it looks, but we're working on it on a weekly basis. And we do have a tentative date of the 27th. And more information will be revealed to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. And if you have any specific questions, we'll have an opportunity for that as well. I wanted to speak a little bit to just the process, what we're going through now, and what's coming up in terms of support from outside our community, as well as what we're going to be, the steps we're going to be taking to bring in additional support, like an interim minister. And some of this information are things that we've shared before, but like I said earlier, it bears repeating, just so that everybody's clear about the process and can express any thoughts that they have about it. So right now we are getting support from Reverend Sonny and from Reverend Susan. You know that Reverend Sonny has been doing listening circles, and she's going to be giving actually the Sunday sermons next week and the following week. And Reverend Sonny is going to be with us through the end of June. So she's going to continue to support us in the way that she's been doing for the rest of this month and through the end of next month. At that time, well, as part of that process, she's also working with Home Office to see who might be available to take on the role of interim minister, just like Reverend Francione is doing in East Bay, while we do our search for a new senior minister. There are a number of ministers who are currently performing that same service in other centers, who are maybe coming to the end of their contract. And Reverend Sonny is getting to know us very well and is going to be working with Reverend Barbara from Home Office to present to us some candidates that they think would best support our community during this time. So that's likely to happen around the beginning of July. How long an interim minister will be here can vary, because the search for a new senior minister can be time consuming, can be anywhere from 3 months to 9 months. So, but having a point person, a interim minister as the focus for the ecclesiastical side of things, we think would be the most beneficial thing for our community. When that interim minister comes in, they will also be supporting us in the process of selecting a new senior minister, which starts with kind of a co-creation process, a visioning process, where the entire community can come together to look at what are the qualities, how can we draw in the best person at this time to be a leader in our community. So there's that process. There will be a team that's formed that is reflective of the community, that will serve as the search committee. Then it's a process like you might imagine, where people submit, there's announcements that go out to various listservs, there's applications that come in, that group, the selection committee, will review those applications. They will invite people in for interviews, and then hopefully that gets whittled down over time to maybe 2 or 3 candidates, who will then come before the congregation, give a talk, put on a workshop, and then the final step is all members of the community, active members of the community, have a chance to vote on who they want for the next senior minister. So this is an intensive process, and it requires all of our consciousness. to contribute to the highest and best outcome that we can have. So that in general terms is the process that we're following and what we're looking at in the months to come. So at this point, I just want to kind of open it up and see if people have questions. You can raise your hand, use the little reaction buttons. And I think Peggy and Reverend Jerry are going to use their eagle eyes to spot people that have questions. And then whoever is appropriate to address that, whether that's me or Reverend Jerry or Reverend Sonny or Larry or whoever it might be, we'll go from there.
There's a question in the chat. Will there be another new members class before the vote?
Zoe, can you speak to the membership?
Yes, I most certainly can. I would be delighted to do exactly that. What I would ask is anyone who is interested in becoming a member, send me an email, let me know that you're interested. We'll probably put up a specific form online, which might actually be there now, I'm not certain, but if it is not, I will get one up there quickly. So for the time being, I am putting my email address in the chat. You can email me there, and I will make sure that you will be counted. As to exactly when it's going to be, probably not for about another month or two.
And keep in mind too that the that vote that'll happen for a new senior minister is likely not to happen till, you know, the fall at the soonest. If not, it could be even later than that, towards the end of the year. All right, thank you for that question. Who's next?
That Kirsten? Did I see your hand moving around over there? There you are. Did you have a question? You're still mic'd. Unmic yourself.
No, I did have it, but it's been answered. So thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to join the new members group. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Janine.
How are you?
Pretty good, sweetie. How are you?
I'm all right. I just have a question about the selection committee. Has that been decided, and how many people will it be?
No, you know, it's interesting. I've gotten some feedback from people that were on the committee that selected Reverend Jeff. I was not a part of that process at that time, so I'm going to be relying on the expertise of others that have been through it, and with Reverend Sonny and whoever the interim minister is. All I can tell you is that, I mean, I think it usually is about like half a dozen people, and we want it to reflect the diversity of the community, and you know, people that are in high service to the community and know us well. But beyond that, it is the board's responsibility to put that committee together, but I still have a lot to learn about it myself. So I will be deferring to others. Reverend Sonny, I saw you nodding. Do you have anything to share on that?
No, I think you did a really, really good job. I was just agreeing with you that it'll just be, there'll be a selection process, and they'll try to get a whole scope of your community. So it's not just leaders, it's different people who represent different areas of your community. And then there's a whole other process after that.
Step by step, right?
Step by step, absolutely. One step at a
Right.
time.
Well,
Ja-
it looks like a good plan.
Janine, was there something else more specific you want to know about that?
No, you
Okay.
did an excellent job. So
As I'm recalling now from when the last time I reviewed the bylaws, I think it does say that, like, for example, there should be at least one member of the board on the committee. There should be at least one practitioner on the committee, probably a staff minister, that sort of thing. So it's drawing from different groups.
right. Strong collective. Yeah.
Right.
Great.
See, we have a question from Deborah Jackson. Will there be an open forum about the church business and finances, et cetera, that will be answering questions different from what we are addressing here today?
Yes, thank you for that question, Deborah. We have a tentatively scheduled open forum. I think it's July 11th off the top of my head. So that'll be the next time where, we do these a couple of times a year where we present an overview of facilities, finances, everything else that's going on, ecclesiastical stuff. And so we do plan to do that. July 11th is a tentative date.
And Bonnie Gonzalez, you've got your hand up.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
All or afternoon.
Hi.
I just had a question about the interim minister. So once an interim minister is selected or presented, are they contracted for a certain period of time? Like, are they interim for a year, which gives you time to select a new senior minister? Or is it just kind of, I don't want to use the word haphazard, but are they contracted? Yeah, I guess that's it. Are they contracted for 6 months or a year, which would really, I guess, allow us time to really have a really thorough selection and time to process who comes. That's my question. How long is the interim minister for? And is there a projected date for the interim minister to start?
Thank you, Bonnie. Yes, I mean, the projected date, and part of this has to do with just logistics and their availability, that sort of thing. But we're hoping to have an interim minister start around the 1st of July. Yes, they are on contract. And generally that contract is for a specific amount of time, but I would like to pass the ball to Reverend Sonny, because I'm not clear myself, because of exactly what you brought up, which is that, what if you hire them for 6 months and then we have a situation where it takes 9 months to bring on a senior minister? So how flexible is that?
Thanks, Robert. It is, and thank you for your question, Bonnie. It's actually very flexible. Most likely, and I would say probably 95% of the time, most interims sign up for 6 months with the option to renew. So, this is a whole new, your community right now is, talk about holy uprising. You are in this beautiful place right now to really recreate your center in the way that you want to. So it is a process and a lot of visioning and a lot of coming together with community members, supporting what you are drawing in now. You have an opportunity now to draw in your next minister, senior minister. So that is in itself is a wonderful place to be.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
That clarifies.
John Moselle is next. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say something, Robert?
Oh, I just want to piggyback on something Reverend Sonny said, which is it just made me think about how, and Reverend Sonny has really been very helpful in helping us, I think, to understand this process, because it is a process. And the first stage in the process is where we are now, which is that we're still grieving Reverend Jeff. And we have to allow that process to happen before we're in a place to draw in a new senior minister. So, some things have to precede other things. And while the grieving is never finished, really, it does change. And so, we're in this place now where we're using the listening circles to support that process. It's also a time where sometimes differences of opinions come out, and Reverend Sunny and Reverend Susan are here also to support the process of coming to clarity on those kind of things. And then once that interim minister comes in, then we're in a good position to begin to move forward in the selection of a new senior minister.
Oh, thank you,
Peggy.
Robert. John Roselle was next, and Laura, you're going to come right behind John, and then Anthony Prado, okay? John Roselle, are you around? Okay, let me read what he wrote.
Peggy,
Mhm.
excuse me, Peggy. There's one we missed for Reverend Susan, a question for Reverend Susan from TC.
Oh, okay, go for it.
I've met with you, your ELT, PLC, and board since Reverend Jeff's transition. Let's see, that wasn't it, excuse me. How is Reverend Susan supporting us? This is the first time I've seen her. Well, Reverend Susan?
So what you read first, Jerry, was my reply. Thank you for the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, not a problem. I've been in a meeting with your board. I've met with your ELT. I've met with your, I believe it's PLC, your practitioner leadership core or circle. Pardon me if I mess up the acronym. And then I've had some one-on-one conversations with different members of your leadership. So, and I'm here to support you in any way that I can. And I just want to echo what Robert and Reverend Soni have said so well, that this time of healing and gently moving with one another through the grief process is so important before you even think about who's next. It's a really hard question to answer. That's like when you lose a loved one, you don't run out and replace them the next day. The grief process really needs to be honored, and the time taken. And then the co-creation process is beautiful because it puts your community in a place of truly knowing what it is and who it is that you're welcoming in. You are calling forth the next iteration for your community, and it's powerful and it's important, and you can't microwave that. So
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate your response. And thank you for being here and helping out.
My pleasure.
Thanks, TC. I just want to mention one other thing about Reverend Susan, which is that in her role as the regional coordinator, am I using the correct term? That she's also, in the absence of a senior minister, she's in the place of the practitioners licensing. If the licensing of the practitioners comes up, Reverend Susan handles that process. I hope I expressed that accurately. And let me just, while I'm chatting, let me just say that through this whole process, I mean, the past 6 months, I've been in contact with Home Office, and I have to tell you that the CSL organization, the Home Office, and everybody that I've had an opportunity to talk to has been so supportive and so, I want to say the word divinely intelligent about this whole thing. They're organized, they have the resources available, they're supportive, they're loving, and I'm just so grateful for their role in helping us through this period in our local center.
Beautiful. Okay, so John Roselle asks, have you already begun receiving applicants?
Nope.
Nope.
Way too soon.
Laura, Laura, are you still with us? Did you want to say what you want to say, or would you like me to read? Are you there? There you
Yeah,
are.
I can just, hi. Yeah, so basically my question was just whether in some cases, does the interim minister also put their hat in the ring to be considered as a candidate for the senior minister, or their role is strictly to only be the interim minister?
No.
Excellent question. Sing it out, Reverend Sonny.
No, well, let me back up a little bit. My role is I've said this before, is as a first responder. And so my job is to be here is to love you all up. And, one of the things that I do with these listening circles is give you the opportunity to really to be able to express in a safe place how you're really feeling about Reverend Jeff, about your community. And so also one of my roles is to meet with the board and with the practitioners and many different leadership people who are in leadership roles. When I came on board, I signed an agreement that I would not candidate for your community. The interim minister that comes on board also has to sign a contract that they will not candidate for your community. So that was kind of a long way of saying no.
Thank you. Super
You're welcome.
clear. Wow. Thank you so much.
And Laura, I know that you can see the value of that, which is that, you don't have somebody who sort of has an advantage through incumbency in that selection process. It makes it for a much more objective process.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, Laura. Anthony Prado. Reverend
Just it was just a comment that when Reverend Jeff announced that Reverend Francione was going to the East Bay, I like how he said, we're getting her back. But it was over a year ago, since she's been the interim minister for some time now. Is it going on a year? So some of us have been asking, how long is this going to take? I'm looking at her over there, and that's given me an idea of how long this process can go. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Anthony. Barbara? Dr. Vivino? Your mic. There you go.
I just unmuted. I just was wondering, is it possible to get some of our familiar faces back just occasionally on a Sunday? Like maybe Reverend Francione has the energy to do one of our services, or maybe Sally from Colorado could do a service, just so that we have some continuity of familiar faces. And thank you, Reverend Jerry, for sticking with us and being a familiar minister. I appreciate you and everyone else who has stuck by us. And I love the new people, but I love the old ones and I miss them.
Thank you for that question, Barbara, because I've been talking with Reverend Francione to get a date on the books, and we do have a lineup of some great speakers as well. But yes, I'll make sure that's added to our ELT speaker list. Your comments and requests. Thanks, you.
Reverend. And Reverend Savannah also is scheduled to come back periodically as well.
She'll be here next month, the second Sunday next month, I believe it is, or the 7th or something. She's on the circuit for speaking here. And the one thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about our ministers is that when Reverend Savannah departed Oakland Center, she is following her dreams, and she's in a very, very lovely having a lovely experience right now with her ministry and her developing her ministry and her growth, and being in Washington. It's been a really fabulous move for her, and she's doing well and thriving, and we'll see her next month for sure.
Wonderful, wonderful. Alice Knudsen. Unmic yourself.
Yeah, I was just wondering, do we have any idea when we're going to have a memorial for Jeff, Reverend Jeff? Because that's going to help have some closure and help us grieve.
Yeah.
Say goodbye. Just wonder if anything.
No, that's a really good question. And yes, I have been in touch with Reverend Jeff's family, his sister Roberta. There are a lot of changes within their family unit. His mother and his sister Nancy are going to be moving to South Carolina, where Roberta is. So the family is, the plan was the family was hoping we could have a memorial the first weekend in June, but because of the CDC regulations and everything that we're doing to get our center reopened, we know that the venue for Reverend Jeff's celebration of life is going to be huge, no doubt. And we're very excited to put together something extremely special for him. We'll probably be putting our feelers out there for volunteers to help. I believe that it's important that we get our center open and things up and running, and then we'll plan a date sometime this summer when the family can be with us. The family's on a group family trip in San Diego, and that's why they were hoping that maybe we could do something the first weekend in June. But this was like a month or so ago when I spoke with Roberta. And so clearly that's not happening, and they're not in a big rush. So they've got a lot going on in their family, a lot of grief healing that's happening, and his mother and his sister are going to be relocating so that the family can all be together, because it's very tender for them in the town of Gualala where they live without Jeff. So there's some changes going on there, and we are going to accommodate the family and our spiritual home, his family, here at Oakland Center as well. So there'll be more to come on that once we get opened. And as soon as I've got some more information, I'll be sure to get it out to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bonnie, I see your hand is up, and then after Bonnie, I'd like Janine to be next. Looks like.
Okay. Hi, I don't have a question. I just want to express a deep, heartfelt gratitude to the board and to the ELT, which is Reverend Jerry, and to Constance, and to Reverend Sonny and Reverend Susan. Thank you for the caring. Just my heart is just truly opened with gratitude for all the efforts that you're putting forward. And Robert, I hope I said thank you to the board as well. These are really turbulent times, and I just want you to know that someone is out here that really is in deep gratitude for this.
Thank you, Bonnie.
And so thank you all for caring, because that's where it comes from, a heart of caring. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just, I just one thought about that, which is that everybody here wants what's best for OCSL. And sometimes we have different ideas about what that is, but we know that everybody's heart is in the right place and working for the highest and best good of all of us.
And it's felt, it's truly felt. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Great. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Bonnie. Janine, you're next, sweetie.
It's Bonnie, I just want to second what you're saying. I'm very aware of how hard things have been in the last year. And to watch how all of you are navigating with such grace, bringing in support. It's hard to ask for help sometimes. And I think help is one of the bravest things we can ask for. So, Sonny, I'm so grateful to you, to everyone, to the ELT, to the board. It's really amazing how you guys are all coming together the way Jeff would want. And I'm so touched by it all. It's a hard time. It's messy, as he would say. And there's so much to a season like this, and everyone is doing a beautiful job. And I'm grateful as a member of this community, and as a loved one of Jeff. So thank you. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janine. Reverend Susan, you're up next. Unmic yourself.
Just did. Thank you. I did not prepare anything, Peggy.
Well, You wrote a lovely note in the chat, and I'm just running through all the chats for everybody because it's when we have more than one screen, I can't see everybody. So
I thought you meant I was on the agenda. I was like, what? I would have to give you the same talk that I gave. No.
we love to have. I'll steal your spot. Thank you. I will steal your spot. Elena would steal your spot. Any of us would steal this spot to thank you. The gratitude is overwhelming. And your message was just spot on and so inspiring, wasn't it? Yes, everybody's shaking their head. Yes. And we're clapping for you too. Yes. So we love having you. And I hope Reverend Jerry gets you back on the agenda and brings you back again. So that inspiration will last me quite a while. Reverend.
I really do want to thank you though, Peggy. I want to thank your whole community, your board, your PRACs, your leadership, the ELT, the PRAC leadership core. I'm so sorry I keep messing up that acronym, but it is not an easy time for any community, not at all. And the way you have shown up to just keep the oars in the water. You know, it's the biggest thing. It's just keep all the oars in the water going in the same direction in and of itself. In the just coming out of the year that we've had, the pandemic in and of itself for any spiritual community. And the truth that if you could just greet one another every week as newcomers, just be newcomers together, stay curious, tell your stories, share your grief, and just the way you just love one another is the most important thing right now, to remember who you are. I can't stress it enough, you know, and when things go wonky, if things go sideways, there's so many of us just ready to be a container for you. Really, it's just about being a container.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, Sonny, for the
Beautiful,
work
thank
that you
you.
do and what you bring. Thanks, Robert and Jerry.
Elena, unmic yourself, Elena.
I did not have my hand up, but I see two people who do.
Okay, I see Carmen, Andy and Carmen.
Andy and Carmen.
Yeah.
And Anthony.
And Anthony.
And Anthony.
I actually got beat to the punch because Reverend Susan, I was going to reiterate what you said in your talk as it relates to us as a community going forward. You just did that we are newcomers, having been involved in the process last time, and having had the privilege of working with you along with Reverend Jeff. We are in a process of unfoldment, of birth. And as I like to put it, my job is not to rush through the door frame. It's to melt through the process. And the more I sink into the process, the wider the berth, the wider the scope of what I take in. And why would I want to short trip that? We don't know where we're going. We don't need to know where we're going. This is a blessed event. And as Janine reminded us, you know, it's a little funky in certain ways and whatever, but that's equally part of the blessing. And this is a glorious opportunity. And again, Reverend Susan, thank you for putting that perspective about what we've been through as a world together for the last year and relating it to us as a community right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Carmen, would you like to say something? Your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Hi, everyone. Yes, thank you, Reverend Susan. Kind of piggyback a little bit on what Andy was saying, but also just the acknowledgement of saying the names, you know, and how powerful that is, and that those names have been answered prayers. Specifically the George Floyd, you know, the anniversary, and the massacre at Wall Street, Black Wall Street, acknowledging those before us and the evolution that we're taking and moving forward. You know, I just really appreciate you honoring that, saying the name, saying Reverend Jeff's name, acknowledging, you know, that they are answered prayers. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Carmen.
And I wanted to thank Reverend Sunny also and piggyback on that and thanking the board and the ecclesiastical team as well. And all the practitioner the core practitioners. It's been quite a good foundation for me as I am on this journey. And so my question to, I don't know who answers this one, but I've been curious about how the plans are going for continuing with Prac 1 and Prac 2. Yeah, Jerry?
Well, I'd love to speak to that. We do have a lineup of individuals ready. They need a couple of other courses, some of them. I think that's doable between now and the fall. We are planning the fall.
Okay.
So we're just talking about that now. I don't have any specific dates, but we're hopefully planning to do something in the fall.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was wondering who would be teaching. Yeah, since we don't have
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah,
So we're
okay.
working on, I'm sorry, I don't have any answers for that as of yet, but it's definitely on our docket. So, Peggy, I want to say, I think Anthony had a question, I believe. Did he? Get
Oh,
his-
yeah. And Maureen French does.
Okay. This is to Reverend Susan. If I'm not mistaken, did you lose your brother after Jeff's passing?
I did, Anthony. It was a week later.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say this on behalf of our community, that we extend our condolences to you right now. And we are in the same boat, sharing the grief. We know how you feel, and you know how we feel. And that's where I saw where your message came from. The minute you said, I lost my brother, or he passed on, I thought, oh my God, this is going to go to another level. So our heart goes out to you. I am saying that on behalf, as a board member, on behalf of the community, our heart goes out to you. God bless you.
Anthony, thank you. Is it all right? May I share one thing with you? Because I feel like you're so much my family. Just one quick thing. Yesterday, a box came in the mail. And it was from my sister-in-law. And she took some of my brother's favorite shirts and made them into pillows.
Oh my God.
Oh my
And
God.
she sent them to his sisters, me and my sister Linda, my sister Marilyn, and she also sent two, of course, to her own children. So I just wanted to share that because I don't think I've ever received a gift that was more meaningful. And what a brilliant thing to do, by the way. If you ever, I mean, heaven forbid, but it just, instead of just giving everything to Goodwill. And I just wanted to share that with you. I couldn't do it during the talk, so it would have, yeah, the throat would have closed and everything, so.
Well,
Reverend Jerry?
I'm a wreck now.
Yes, I know. What I want to share with everyone is the loving heart of Reverend Susan, because it was her brother had just passed when we were reaching out to her as an ELT, and she was making time at this most tender time in her experience for us. So thank you for being so real and beautiful and loving. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Anthony. Thank you.
Maureen French.
Hi.
Hi, Maureen.
Hi. So the one question I have is we're talking about how we're going to call in this minister and do the visioning and things. When does that start? Like, is that once we get an interim minister, or like, how do I know when the community is visioning, and am I going to be invited as a member?
I'll start, and then I'll turn it over to Reverend Sunny as well. That yes, we are definitely going to let everybody know what's happening. It's that process is going to start more with after the interim minister gets on board. But Reverend Sunny did ask me the other day about whether she wants us to do some visioning, you know, coming up soon, like in June. So that's a possibility as well. Reverend Sunny?
Yeah, I was just going to say that usually the process goes, you start visioning with groups such as your board of trustees, you vision with the practitioners, you start visioning with the ELT, you know, all of that, and then you begin to vision with the community. And what will be amazing is how often your responses are similar. So, you know, the process of visioning is to get out of your own way and allow spirit to choose your next minister, basically. So it's a beautiful and amazing process for those of you who haven't done it, and for those of you that have, I'm sure you're looking forward to doing it again. But it will start full on with your interim. And I was offering to do something for the practitioners and the board of trustees prior to that. So does that answer it?
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
I just want to do a little time check. We've been going for about an hour. I just want to be respectful of people's time, and I know that there's still a prayer room to go. This has been very fruitful. I don't want to cut it short. But like I said, I just want to be respectful of people's time. So if you do have something you want to ask or say, please do that.
Robert, I also wanted you to speak to our communication method to our congregation like this, that we will be doing this throughout this period, because it is important for us to communicate, and transparency is critical. And I know it's taken some time for us to get to this point, but there's been so much going on since Reverend Jeff's transition that, you know, putting systems in place and so forth. So I just want to make sure our congregation knows that we will be continuing to meet.
Yes, and it's funny because I get feedback from people in the community. How come we haven't talked about this? And I'll say, well, actually, that went out in an email, or they'll say, we haven't done this yet. And I'm like, yeah, I know, because like we're all like juggling 50 balls in the air and trying to get things done. So it has been challenging, and we just want you to know that you know, like Reverend Jerry said, it's taken a little time to get our land legs going in this new environment. And so we're going to be continuing both. You know, I really encourage you to look at those, the weekly email, the village news, additional emails that we might be sending out, as well as information on Sunday services or additional special meetings like this one. So you know, it is our goal, absolutely, to keep you informed, to let you know what's happening. There's no hidden agendas. There's no secrecy. We just want you to know what's going on. And, you know, that's challenging at times because we've got a lot of people to communicate with, and not everybody's at every service or reads every email, but we're going to continue to strive for that.
Beautiful. Thank you, Robert. I am not seeing anybody else's hand up. I think if everybody is complete for now. If we have questions in the future, Robert, we'll just send them to Constance. You?
Well, so it's I mean, the board of trustees and the ELT communicate all the time. So you know, it's you could start anywhere, really. I mean, we want to have it be sort of like, you know, open door policy. So but if it's something like specific, like the question that came up about the prac classes, you know, that's more towards Reverend Jerry and Constance, who's, you know, handles the education stuff. Daily operations sort of things, that's more Constance and Jerry. Financial things, premises things, the senior minister process, those kind of things are a little more in the board's area of responsibility. But you can ask any of us and we'll get you to the right person.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Well, I think it's time for us to move on to Elena. Is going to be handling the breakout rooms now for prayer. If you want prayer, we love to pray. And here we go with Elena.
Can somebody pray us out of this meeting?
Great.
Elena?
I'd love to. Oh, I guess it's me. Okay. So let's just take a breath. There is only one presence, one power, one source of love and light, and one thing that is holding the entire matrix of all of creation in perfect harmony and balance despite any appearances in any given moment. All of it is being held in perfection. It is the life force of every living creature. It is our very breath. I am that, and everyone here, everyone hearing my voice, is that one presence. It is that one presence that is showing up as us, as human form, to be with each other, to have this experience. And I know and claim for this community, for this meeting, the meeting is blessed, has been blessed since before it began. I know our community is blessed, and we are so grateful. We are so grateful for everyone who's lending their energy here, who is part of the community in any way. We know that the oneness we have experienced here, we will take into the world with us, and it will touch every person that we meet. And that is how we keep the oars in the water. That is how we show up as love in the world. I speak my word into the law in this place of gratitude, knowing the law can only say yes, and we are blessed. And I let go, knowing that God has it all. God is holding us. I let go and let God, and so it is.